Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to the channel and welcome to another race video. If it's your first, I've done quite a few of these so far. Make sure you go and check them out. And while you're all here, you can always do the fun stuff. The stuff that helps me and my channel out. I know you want to. Thumbs up, comment. I mean, definitely get commenting later. I love it when you take part in these videos. Subscribe if you're new. And if you really want to help me out, you can always become a patron. You guys are legends. And my patrons will be taking part in a future series of mine. A custom series, just like last year. I talk about that in my Christmas video. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. Now, we're going to Spain. We're going to La Liga. Race to the La Liga title. Now, I've done all the big leagues now, haven't I? England, France, Germany, Italy. And I've left Spain to last. Because unlike those other countries, there's not this abundance of teams down in like the 3rd, 4th division that have got a La Liga title or some Copa del Rey's or some great history. There's one, of course, and you might have noticed their logo on the thumbnail. But there's not a lot. So I've picked one. 2 others I've picked for other reasons, and then I've done something different this time. One team's got the hardest challenge of any of these races. They're starting right on the back foot, but I had to pick them because their story has really always interested me. So, time for another race. If you don't know what they are, I might tell you about it. We'll go through the rules briefly. Let's get into it. So let's take a look at our 4 teams and I'll explain why I've chosen them. And of course, I had to choose Deportivo. I'm pretty sure when I went through all of like the 3rd tier, they're the only team with anything worth noting. And that is obviously they've won the Liga. And a man of my age remembers them being very good. I watched them at Old Trafford. I said this all. I've told you all about the story of what's happened to him in my rebuild series with Deportivo. There's loads of videos out there on YouTube. Go and search them. It is a sad state of affairs because it's a massive club in my eyes. One of the biggest in Spain, but they now find themselves in the 3rd tier. I think they were lower at one point. If you watch my rebuild series, there was this weird thing where I got promoted from 4th to 3rd and then they restructured the league in the 2nd season. And I ended up not really getting promoted, I think it was. Or was it from 3rd to 2nd? It was confusing. It's all sorted now on the game. But yeah, now, I won't try and pronounce the stadium because I did in the rebuild. And in the comments of my rebuild, I had 4 or 5 people telling me all these different ways of how you say it. So you interpret it as you want. But it's a cracking little stadium. Right near the sea. Beautiful, beautiful looking place. Loads of famous players like Bebeto, one of my favourite all-time players, Roy Mackay as well, loads and loads of others. But let's just check the history. So there we go, and it's a good history. It's not Real Madrid or Barcelona, but of course they had that one Liga title. They got 2 Copa del Rey's, so of course they're in the race. And look at them, look at this. This is when I think I was watching them at Old Trafford in the Champions League. Finishing 2nd, 3rd. I mean, here, there, and everywhere. They had stints going up and down, back up, and then obviously they crashed all the way down. Down, all the way there. It's for lots of different reasons. Like I said, I mean, if it really interests you and you don't know why, there's some really good videos on YouTube explaining the downfall of Deportivo. Now, the next club I've chosen is in the same group in the 3rd tier. It's Real Racing Club de Santander. Always reminds me of my old bank before I switched to the Halifax. The wife made me do it. Now, great club, and I remember them being a La Liga club. Played the Al San Dinero, 22,222. What a number that is. Capacity stadium in Santander. But yeah, I mean, a decent sized club. Good club, really. Now, they don't have any Copa del Rey's. They haven't got any La Ligas, though they have won a couple of Smart Banks, which is like League 2. But the reason I've chosen them is mainly because of that. But if we look at this one instead, this graph's much better because you see a bit more information. Look how long they were in the Liga. Obviously, that stint there back at the turn of the century. But, you know, big, long period in La Liga. One of the longest out of any of the teams down there. So I had to pick them. And I was quite surprised it's been that long as well. With a lot of these races, some of these teams, like Auxerre, I was surprised by how long some of them have been down and been further down and up and down. So it's a real sad state. I don't know too much about it. I did mean to read, but I've run out of time. So that's something I'm going to look at actually later. Why have they fallen so far? So those 2 teams are in Group 1. So they're going to be finding it out. I wanted to do that really because I think Deportivo will do this because they're such a big club. So giving Deportivo a bit more of a challenge. But there are 2 groups at this level. So this is the team I've chosen from the other group, Group 2. Gymnastic, or as it says on the tables and everything, Nastic from Tarragona. Fair enough, they play at the new Estadio. I'm guessing that's new stadium. That's my guess. It's only a 40,500 capacity. They've won nothing. But honestly, I mean, maybe I've missed one, but I'm pretty sure I went through every team and looked at the history. I was looking for La Ligas or Copa del Rey's, and I was struggling. So the reason I picked him is because they've had a stint in La Liga and they were in Group 1. I wanted to mix it up a bit. Now, the last team aren't in the third tier, aren't in Group 1, and aren't in Group 2 with GIMNASTIC. No, this team's on the back foot more than any other team in any of the races so far. And it is CE EUROPA, who are in the 4th tier. In the Segunda Division, Group 3. Right? They play at the new Sardina in Barcelona. They are another Barcelona team, and they are one of the founding fathers of La Liga. Obviously, things didn't work out as well for them as it did for their two bigger neighbours, Espanyol and Barcelona, and any of the others in Barcelona. But I always quite liked them. I think I put them out there once a few years ago as a challenge for you guys. I know some people took it on because obviously massively in the shadow of Barca. Now, even though they are this old club, they are a founder of La Liga, they've never won anything of note, and they've spent a very, very long time at this level. So, like all the others, everyone's going to have the same reputation, the same amount of money, which is about 800 million, same wage restrictions, same commercial income of 250 million guaranteed coming every year, a sugar daddy owner, and the focus to become the best team in the country. You could say this is a bit unfair because they are starting on the back foot, but you never know these races. We've seen teams win them. They really probably shouldn't have. So again, as I always do in these race videos, as we scroll up the map of Spain and find out where all these teams are situated, I want you to have a bit of fun, because it is fun, and have a bet with yourself and me in the comments right now before you watch the end of the video. Who do you think will win the race to the La Liga title? Now, it's a bit of a battle really between North versus East. Again, I don't pick this on purpose, just pick the teams, but I thought it was quite cool. They've got two teams close to Barcelona. You've got them two teams in the North as well. So yeah, get involved in the comments. Let me know what you think. Can't wait to read them. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be Deportivo. It should be Deportivo. And I'm probably going to be right. I'm always right. And of course, to win the race, they've got to win the La Liga title. Don't care, like I've said before, this is just in case you're new. This is the first race you've ever seen. I don't care if one team wins 5 Champions Leagues. They don't win. Second, third and fourth will get decided over who was the most successful with other competitions. But to win the race, you've got to win this trophy, which Atletico Madrid are the favourites for. If we go down one, they've obviously got to get into this league as well. And got Ibiza in this league. My mate is doing a cracking series on Twitch, Limo, with Ibiza. You should check it out. Real Oviedo, they used to be a cracking save, didn't they, on this, when they were really crashing and burning. Obviously, they're in the second tier, so I've not used them. Now, if we go down again, you'll see here we go, Group 1. So you've got the two teams there with the high reps battling it out to get out of that group. GIMNASTIC have probably got it the easiest this first year because they're going to be favourites, going to have loads of money. Can they fly straight out of it? It's poor little old Europa in Group 3. Want this? You've got Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4, and Group 5. Oh my God. I'm not 100% sure what was what. What have poor little Europa got to do? So then, looking at Group 3 where Europa are, if they win the league, they get promoted, and then you've got that big playoff with all the other groups, so it could be hard. I mean, I've probably made it a bit tough for them, even though they have got money. The other boys in Group 1 and 2 in the third tier, if they win the league, fine. Obviously, this first year though, Deportivo Racing win the league, the other one's going to go out into a playoffs. I bet that's fun to play through, isn't it? Right, so jump 4 years into the future. Now, I think this is the longest race I've done. It takes 20 years. It takes till the year 2041 for someone to win the freaking race. But I just thought we'd have a quick jump in before we go to the end and just have a look at the initial start of it. And this is the La Liga, won by Barcelona, looking like they're back on top. Atletico Club Bilbao, second. Gotta love that. Real Madrid in 6. Bloody hell. But there's only one team in it. The other 3 do find themselves though in the Smart Bank, the second tier. And the season ain't over actually. I just save it to the 1st of June. It's just a standard thing I do with these videos. So they have a chance really that they'll go up before Deportivo in 11th and Racing, who are in 15th. That's what I love about these. That's a good little bit of hope. Now we're not going to look too much into things, but we'll have a look at the managers, because there's one guy, he loves these races. He's got to stick his face into every single one of them. And it is, of course, Jose Mourinho. Can that favourite personnel Ronald Koeman? So he's been their manager. Look at it. I love these because they have a high rep. They get good managers in. They had Gattuso. He got sacked. Koeman, he's left. He's probably one of the other teams, knowing these. And now they've got Jose Mourinho. Deportivo have Diego Simeone. I like that. Wow, they've had some managers. Jose made a cheeky little appearance, only lasted a season. He got sacked. One of my favourite managers on the game, who I think's won one of the races, I'm pretty sure, Erik ten Hag. He got sacked. Bloody hell, Deportivo, chill out. And now they've got Simeone. Santander have George Jesus. Is he the guy that's got sacked in real life? By Benfica. They had Klopp. Jurgen Klopp. They sacked Jurgen Klopp after 206 days. Are you taking the piss? Are you really? I love it. Absolutely love it. I don't know why. But over to GIMNASTIC, who are mid-table, finishing 10th in La Liga. They have Raul Agnay. Don't know who he is. Alright, maybe I should have paid more attention. Is the guy they had at the beginning. Fair play to you, kid, for sticking it out. Can you last all the way to the end and win the race for the GIMNASTIC, or the GIMNASTIC boys? I'm guessing, and this is a guess, there used to be like a gymnastic club. A lot of football clubs used to be other things, like sports clubs or cricket clubs, didn't they? Or gymnastic clubs. That's what I'm guessing. And in Spain, they have basketball clubs and stuff, don't they? I mean, I'm just guessing because it sounds like gymnastics. Let me know if I'm wrong. Do you know what? We're going to jump forward a few more years now. 6 years before the winner. And we're here with the Liga. And all 4 of our teams find themselves in top flight football. Racing have just finished 3rd with GIMNASTIC 4th. They're going to be in the Champions League. That's pretty cool. Where have they come from? Racing were looking pretty turd. They were near the bottom, weren't they? So fair play to them. Europa 10th. I like them in top flight. That's awesome. And Deportivo, the team I thought would do it and still could. Trust me, still could. Never know. In 14th. We'll start with Deportivo, and they've got Paulo Fonseca as their manager. So of course they had a steady climb here, and they've actually come up to the Liga and gone back down. Come back up and gone back down, and now they're back up. Deportivo. Manager-wise, they had Diego Simeone, didn't they? He got sacked. They had a few other guys. You probably know him. I get shouted at by some of you guys sometimes when I don't see certain people, or I don't know who people are, but I don't. On to Europa, and they have Gerardo Sione from Switzerland. My friend Christian Peter, probably know who he is, probably mates with him, knowing him. Now then, how have they been doing? Well, if we check out the graph, they flew through the leagues. They've got into the Liga, and they've not been bad. Floating around mid-table, a bit below mid-table. They've managed a 5th, a 9th, and a 10th. So maybe on a little bit of a slide. Now they've gone through some managers. They had Jose, obviously, sacked him. Brendan Rodgers, of course, I know who Brendan is. He got the sack. God, stop sacking these managers. Paulo Fonseca, he had a stint here. Didn't last very long. He got the sack. Bloody hell, man. They do the rounds, they do the merry-go-rounds, don't they? On to GIMNASTIC, or NASTIC. Ooh! They got a new stadium built in 2027. The NASTIC Stadium. I like that. I love it when they build new stadiums, smaller teams. It doesn't always happen. It annoys me. Well, anyway, they've got Didier Deschamps as their manager. So, of course, they've come up. And once they've been in the Liga, they nearly did... Oh, they nearly did it years ago. Nearly did it 10 years ago. Finished 2nd. Stayed quite high up. 3rd. Finished 2nd last year as well. Bloody hell, we nearly had winners, didn't we? He didn't make it, although he did last a long time. He got sacked after 5 years. So fair play to you, Raul. Then they got Valverde, he resigned. Antonio Conte, he resigned. I'm guessing they probably went to like He probably went to become Italy manager. Pochettino, not messing about, are they? He got sacked. Won them something. We're going to look at all the things he won at the end. And now they've got Didier Deschamps, who's also won something. Last but not least, we've got Racing, who at the last point were the lowest team and now find themselves the highest team. Are they going to be the ones who win the race? Did you pick Racing Club de Santander? Roger, who the hell is Roger Barnils? He does not sound Spanish to me, does he? Sounds like he's from Yorkshire. So yeah, they were around here, weren't they, when we last looked. But they finally got promoted, and they've stayed here ever since. What's one of their highest? 7th, managed an 8th, and now they're 3rd, so they're on the climb. Now, of course, George Jesus, can't believe they had Klopp as well. Patrick Vieira. Who the hell is Roger Barnils? I'm going to look. He's a player when the game starts. Then he was manager of Cordoba B, assistant manager. How'd you go from being manager of Cordoba B to assistant manager of Cordoba B? How does that happen? So we're going to look at what everyone's won, because I'm going to jump forward to the end now. We'll see who wins, who comes last, what they pick up and all that good stuff. I just thought we'd just have a quick look at the history of La Liga. And I mean, it was quite interesting for a few years, but it's like the last 5 years it's been dominated, hasn't it, by Barcelona. So here we are, it's now 2041, and we do in fact have a winner. And unfortunately, I know they started on the back foot, but there were times when I thought they might do it. Definitely no, I didn't think they were going to finish last a lot of the times, I'll be honest with you. But it's CE Europa. And like I said before, I just go off what they've achieved in other competitions to work out who comes last, who comes third, who comes second. One cool thing is they have got their own stadium. They've been in it now for 4 years, a brand new one, the Europa Stadium. So there's been progress here. And I'll be honest with you, like I do with all my videos, I will be putting a link down below for the start of it, the save file. And quite a lot of you have downloaded them and had a go, which is cool. I'd pick these because it's a challenge, isn't it? Can you win it with these? So once they got in top flight though, they managed to stay in the top flight. They've managed a 6th there. They've managed a 5th. I mean, 6th there. So they've done really, really well when you think of where they started compared to everybody else. So the reason that they've come last is because they never won any kind of top flight trophies, although they nearly did. They've runners up in the Copa del Rey twice, and they were also runners up in the Super Copa. They did have their funding scale back though, and this happens quite a lot on these, doesn't it? And it doesn't tend to help, even though they still get that 250 million. When their sugar daddy decides to pull the funding, they lose that little bit of extra cash, and it's happened twice, hasn't it? Now in 3rd place, I've decided it's Real Racing Club de Santander, who have done really well in the league. They just finished a Champions League spot, which is higher than the team who finished 2nd. I'm just going off what they've achieved. Now, they've never built a new stadium. They've never even increased the capacity. And I do put that in place. They can either increase their stadium and improve it, or build a new one. So, a bit shocked by that. Maybe they just spent all their money on their team. They've currently got Giovanni van Bronckhorst as their manager. And they've done really well, like really, really well. Got in the top flight, and they've stayed there. And I mean, this is where I'm swaying between 3rd and 2nd, right? But anyway, they've finished 3rd, done really well, finished 4th again, Champions League football. But what I'm going off is competitions won. Now, they have won, and it looks like they've just won the Copa del Rey, but they also lost it twice. They've won a Super Cup and lost the Super Cup. So a Super Cup and a Copa del Rey is all they achieved in 20 years. Look at that. How things could have been different, eh? So Alfredo Perez scales down the funding. Then Bong Joon-yoon fails in a takeover bid and he's a tycoon. Then he failed in another takeover bid, and then the chairman finally left the year after that. Then they do get a new chairman, obviously not a tycoon, who then withheld the funding instantly by the looks of it. Finishing runners up, it's the team I genuinely thought could win it. It's Deportivo, right? Because now I know we've seen they've been relegated and come up a few times, haven't they? They've been in and out of the Liga a few times. But it's Deportivo. They're still in that same stadium. Although when you look online, they've got all these plans to one day hopefully improve it. And I think it'll look amazing if they ever get to do it. And I like to imagine that's what they did on this save. So we know they came in and out twice. And then once they've been back, they have steadily climbed. And, you know, they finished 6th a few times, finished 7th. This year, they finished 12th, which isn't as good, I know, as Racing. But a couple of years ago, they won a European trophy. They won the UEFA Europa Conference League. They've also won the Copa del Rey. So a super. This is how I go off it. So Racing had a Super Cup and a Copa del Rey, and Deportivo had the Copa del Rey and the Conference. So I think that's better. Funding scaled down in 2025. What are you all doing? Chairman leaves, and they had a take. Oh, there you go. They had a tycoon takeover. The Chinese people love buying these teams, don't they? Well, he got it through, and he would have pumped in the money. He just couldn't do it. It's been 10 years, mate, and he's still not withheld his funding. So, of course, we have our winner after 20 years. It was Nastic. Did I think they were going to do it? I don't know. I didn't. I don't know why, but they have finally toppled Barcelona. Barcelona finished third. Real Sociedad in second. Real Madrid in ninth. They have Sergio Conceição, the Portuguese man, as their manager. Of course, they've got the beautiful Nastic Stadium as well. We know about that. It's the kits. I don't know why they annoy me, but maybe it's the Mancunian Manchester United fan in me. The home kit's United and the away kit's just like a City kit, innit? So remember as well, when we look back, they nearly did it a couple of times, didn't they? Right there. A very long time ago. Nearly won it very early. And then again there. And then again there. And then again there. And they've just been punching. Finally punched hard enough. They've won it. They've won the league. Brilliant. But they've been in quite a lot of finals. They've not been very lucky with those finals. So they were runners-up in the Copa del Rey. Runners-up in the Conference League. Then they finally won the Copa del Rey, won the Super Cup, lost the Copa del Rey, lost the Copa del Rey, won it, lost it, league champions. So all that didn't matter once you win that. But all around, they are the well-deserved winners. Again, they had their funding. Why are they all pulling the funding in 2025? I don't know. But he left 5 years later anyway. New chairperson, don't forget that, chairperson. Pau Benitez takes over. Promotion from within. 11 years ago, he's not pulled funding. He went full force. He wanted to win the race. Let's have a look at the histories of all these competitions. Just to have a look at who did what on that Barcelona dominance there. Bloody hell. Nastic tried, didn't they? A few times towards the end. Getting in there. Finally did it. Look at that. Nastic nearly did the domestic double. Racing, we knew, won it. The Copa del Rey. Didn't know they beat Nastic in the final, so that's pretty cool. This is a cracking little competition. This third division of Europe, it often gets won by loads of different teams, and I do like that. I mean, look at that. Look at some of the teams in there. Nantes, that's cool, isn't it? Brighton, Newcastle, Leicester. Now, of course, we did have a winner, didn't we? Where's the winner? Deportivo, there it is, 3 years ago. No one ever got to the Europa League final, unfortunately. But again, this is a bit more interesting. Look at Spurs. Look at Spurs. I mean, I'm always taking a mick out. My mate Lee Masters, great subscriber, good lad. Because Spurs can be a bit dump on it, and I like Spurs. But they won 2, they've just lost the last 2. Let's look at the Champions League, and I like that. Lots of Manchester United winning. Losing a couple, lost one at the City. Ouch, did we ever beat City? No. Beat Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund, Project 23. But yeah, I'm good about that. I'd like someone to have won a Champions League trophy. So here we are with 4th place CE Europa with their best 11. Now, it's the longest one, and they've got the same money as everyone else, but they didn't really spend a ton, to be fair. When you think over a 20-year period, they only spent 750 million quid. Our 3rd place team, Real Racing Club de Santander, who've got Liam Delap as their all-time best striker. That's awesome. They spent a lot more. They spent 1.4 billion. Over to our runners-up, Deportivo, who had that tycoon takeover, who didn't pull the funding 10 years ago. And you could tell, really, they started to spend a lot more money once he came in, hundreds of millions per season. But still, they didn't spend a lot in the early years. In total, over 20 years, they spent 1.2 billion. But now, on to our winners, and it's quite often the case with the races. The team that invests wins. And it doesn't always work out that way. I mean, we've had teams who spent less than one. But this team by far spent the most, and they even built a brand new stadium. Fair play to them. They got Victor Osimhen up top, Conor Gallagher. That's pretty cool. They spent Trev on the bench. They spent 1.9 billion over 20 years to win the race. Well done to you lads. So there we go. That is the end of the race to the La Liga title. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. I know I always ask for thumbs up and comments and all that stuff because that helps my channel grow, gets it out there on the YouTube algorithm. But the most important thing is the view. And if you get all the way to the end, I do massively appreciate it. Can't wait to read the comments and see who you guys went for, how many of you guessed it right. Don't forget, if you check the description as well, you'll find a link to the start save file so you can have a go at this race for yourself. If you're bored, you want a challenge, I will say go for Europa, because that is the biggest challenge. I think that's the biggest challenge out of every single team in all my race videos so far. I just think it is. So good go, have a good go. Go on and let me know if you do as well. Keep me updated on how you save goals. Make sure you go and check out Project 23. Lots of other things coming in the new year. If you want to know what, and you haven't already, just go and check out my Christmas special video. You'll find it on the video list on my channel. But thank you very much. Hope you stay happy. Hope you stay safe. If I don't see you, have a great New Year's Eve. I love you long time. I'm Bood. Bye-bye.